No opening gag, we're going to cut right to the point. Here is the big banner headline for most of the folks who are regulars to my channel. Yes, I am going to be reviewing the Doctor Who specials when they come out. No, that does not mean a complete resumption of all the things that I have put on hold in support of the SAG-AFTRA strike. That's the short version. Now for the ramble. So I mentioned in the video that I did talking about how I found out that Doctor Who was considered struck work by SAG-AFTRA. So if you are intending to support SAG-AFTRA, you should treat it the same as any other struck work. Now, there seemed to be some confusion in the comments, I suspect from people who didn't actually watch the whole video. But to clarify again, this does not mean that the production of Doctor Who is striking. That is being done under equity. The reason it falls under struck work has actually nothing to do with the way that show is made, but it has to do with the fact that the entity being struck against by both the writers and the actors is the AMPTP. And the AMPTP is an association that ties to the Doctor Who production. Short version, whenever Doctor Who needs to work with American-based assets, be it location shooting here, working with actors that are in SAG but aren't in equity, they do it through the AMPTP. And since all productions with direct associations to the AMPTP are being struck against, that's why Doctor Who is considered struck work. Now, again, different YouTubers will make their own decisions on whether or not that affects how they choose to talk about Doctor Who. I said it was going to make me pause basically all discussion, but I also said in that video that I was trying to get more clarification on my specific situation and what it is that I do. Since I now knew for a fact that Doctor Who was struck work, I really just wanted to know, should I be altering how I'm approaching struck work? Because to basically sort of get to the point, I have been way more stringent in what I have decided to not do to support the strike than honestly they are asking for, or than a lot of my peers. Now, that's not because I think I am more morally pure in some way. It has been an overabundance of caution, to be completely frank. I don't want to screw up, and so I'm overdoing it. That's the very short version of that. But I did manage to get a better point of contact with SAG-AFTRA than the one that I was having trouble with before, and I got a very clear answer to my very specific situation, laying out my concerns, which basically spawned from the fact that even though some of what I do is very much review material, the overall description of my job isn't really reviewer. It's content creator, but for the purposes of SAG-AFTRA strike, they would file me under influencer, and the guidelines for influencer are different than the guidelines for critics and reviewers. So I felt very much that while I could probably defend my doing reviews, I really wanted clarification from them that they would look at the work in isolation and not look at who it was coming from. That if the work qualified as a review, it didn't matter that the person doing it might otherwise be considered an influencer as far as they're concerned. And the short answer to that is, yeah, that is exactly the answer I got back. And this is clarification I needed, frankly. I needed it to feel comfortable. Again, not because, like, I want to do this better than all. Like, I just get really paranoid about misinterpreting things and about making an assumption that it turns out that was not the correct assumption to make. So I really strive on clarity with these things. And now that I've gotten it, review content is viable. So in case any other content creators on here are wondering what the answer I got back was, I'll even read you directly from the most relevant thing. Because basically, they say anything that is genuine review is fine. And they do make some clarification as to what wouldn't be considered a genuine review. By genuine review, we mean critical appraisal and or analysis of shows and films, not discussion, interview, comedic conversation, watch along, rewatch, or reaction content. So this is why, say, the Jumpgate podcast that I was doing with Jesse Gender, that was on Babylon 5, that is going to remain on hold because that is considered rewatch content and that sort of catalog show. Even though we are talking about it in a kind of reviews type way, the nature of the format, it's not really structured as a review. and they would not consider it as such. So that remains on hold. We're watching The Prisoner now, if you aren't already listening to the podcast feed. So that's fun. The original version, not the remake. Dear God, no. But anyway, that's why stuff like that will remain on hold, and it's why only reviews are going to come back. So there's a whole bunch of other Doctor Who related, there's a whole bunch of stuff related also to the MCU, Star Wars, DC, etc. But Doctor Who's the most common one that I will continue to not do. I still won't be doing lists and rankings. I am not going to be discussing any release of casting information, of plot reveals that have come out. I'm not going to do trailer reactions. That kind of stuff is still off the table. But when the specials for Doctor Who come out, as far as an actual review, I watch it, I sit down, and I tell you my thoughts on it. I give my critiques. Yes, that is back on. And subsequently, classic Doctor Who reviews will resume in the break room. Now, if you care about what I do beyond Doctor Who, how does this impact other things? Well, the main impact of all this is still to the break room of Geeks, which is what has been having the bigger impact. There's been a lot less stuff going up there because most of what went up there was review stuff and, review and trailer reactions. Trailer reactions are still out. And the things that I had been reviewing episode by episode have wrapped up. And while I am going to catch up on those things, and some of them I have finished doing so, I don't intend to go back and retroactively do episode by episode reviews of things that I would have done but subsequently missed. My brain is not keeping up with my mouth. But in any case, I'm not going to do that largely just because I don't have the time. I don't have the time to sink into doing individual episode reviews for the 5 episodes of Strange New Worlds that I could have been reviewing but didn't. And I do apologize for the fact that my overabundance of caution meant my opinions to these things were not put forward. That is on me, ultimately. I made a call because it was what I felt more comfortable with rather than making a guess and risking being wrong. I now know that I could have done those things, but I don't have the time. While I do still intend to watch these, I actually have finished watching the final episode of Secret Invasion, and I'm almost done now with Strange New Worlds. I don't plan to do individual episodes on that. So don't count on that. As far as upcoming stuff, episode by episode reviews, there isn't really much that's on the immediate horizon that I'm not excited about. I wasn't planning to watch Ahsoka. I'm not caught up on Lower Decks, so I don't know. But theoretically, reviews of things that I've seen in the theater or otherwise, as long as it is an actual, as they put it, genuine review, those will start appearing on the break room again. As far as here, the one thing that it has a little bit of a question mark on it, and this question mark has nothing to do with any vagueness on the part of SAG-AFTRA, but has to do with me getting over my own hang-ups and issues. So, tiny bit of vulnerability on this. They do say that analysis is also accepted. You may have heard me say that. Now, there is a whole category of stuff that I do that probably, definitely, according to some people I've already talked to, fit under the category of analysis. So this would be things like my dives into, say, the queer reading of Beyond the Spider-Verse. That was an analysis. That was a queer reading analysis of that film. And there are some things that I've been planning on doing that would also fit under analysis. I mean, honestly, I think some of my best work has been analysis. The video I did on Zack Snyder's Watchmen, I'm still incredibly proud of. But the thing is, regardless of what I know should count, there's this hang up of my own comfort. And unfortunately, that comfort is being hampered by lack of confidence in my own work. And I know this is my own hang up. I know that. I have literally had people who I've discussed this with tell me to my face that what you do when you do that sort of thing is analysis. It's covered. It's fine. But the hang up is in my brain. I look at the size of my audience. I look at what I do. And then I look at what some of my peers who also do analysis, who do video essay style material, do. And I look at what they do and I go, I have no business saying what I do is like that. And that's a self-confidence thing. That's a self-deprecating issue. That's some stuff I need to get over. And I'm going to work on that. And given how long the strike is liable to last, odds are I probably will get a handle on that, before the strike ends, and you'll get some analysis stuff. But give me some time. Give me some time to just settle into my own comfort on that, because, look, I've got hangups about my own work, and I tend to devalue what it is I put out there just instinctively, probably defensively. If I don't think it's great, then if it doesn't take off or get viewed much, which most things I do don't, then it doesn't hurt as bad. But welcome to that glimpse into this mess. But regardless, while analysis videos might be a thing that start happening again down the line, and reviews, especially for stuff like the new episodes of Doctor Who, will definitely happen, keep in mind, I still will not be discussing, brain and mouth disconnect again, discussing things like casting announcements, things like new trailers, things like just even announced projects that fit into these universes like Marvel and Star Wars and DC. I mean, granted, not a lot's getting announced right now, but like that kind of stuff that I might otherwise talk about, I'm just not going to. And, lists, rankings, none of that. And also, subsequently, if you come to any of my live stuff, be it on Twitch or my bi-weekly live here on this channel, then if you ask me for just a general opinion on things that are struck work, I'm still not going to give it, because me giving my opinion in a stream is not the same as doing a review. So please don't ask. But yeah, that's where things stand. Good news overall, because honestly, the idea of not at least reviewing the upcoming specials, that was worrying me. Like, I don't love the idea of not talking about the new sonic screwdriver that maybe I got my own iteration of in, and maybe I shot an unboxing video that maybe I don't know when the hell that's going to be released. I don't know. That's a theoretical possibility. There's stuff like that, and like it's not the end of the world for me to not have an immediate hot take on a trailer or a story development that's being hinted at in marketing, etc. Like, I don't need to have a take on that. I often do, but I don't need to. The actual episodes, I kind of need to. Like, I was genuinely concerned for my own state of mind, the idea that I wouldn't be able to talk about them, which, again, overabundance of caution on my part. These are self-inflicted issues. I went further and was doing more than they were asking me in trying to support the strikes, and I'm now going to adjust. Some stuff is going to be happening that I said a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago about that they wouldn't. Now they are. It's hopefully good news for people. Thank you for your patience as I sorted out getting clarification, and I work on sorting out my own comfort and my own frickin' brain. This is not an easy thing to work with. Just saying. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening. Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables that, despite my thoroughly wrangled and labyrinthine brain. Wrangled brain? It's not wrangled. It's unwrangled. You can't wrangle it. It's unwranglable. This thing in here, despite that, I am still able to pay my bills thanks to things like the Patreon. But, there's other things down in the description I do. Don't worry too much about all that. What I want you to remember is that you are beautiful. You are valid, and you are loved. You are the council. I'm just running the meetings, and reviews are back on. And until next time, this council is adjourned. A special thanks to my highest supporting patrons, Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfullah, Tarak, the thing that goes doink in the anime, Ruth, Oliver B., Solitary Pictures, Ulrich Bogdan, Melinda Walters, Jen, Auntie Kate 808, Becky Sparks, Renabulax the Poodle, Robin Powell, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Adam R.D.L. Taylor, Dave Hall, and Rosalind Bennett. You'll see a bunch of other names down there as well. There's plenty of things to get on the Patreon, and yeah, you can hear me attempt to say your name without embarrassing myself. check out the rewards, and thank you for everyone who supports this.